There were a lot of headlines earlier today about progress being made in peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, with even Russia's foreign minister saying today that there was some hope of a breakthrough in talks. But Russia's leader had some different thoughts. Vladimir Putin struck a defiant and dark tone, saying that his, quote, special operation was developing successfully in strict accordance with pre-approved plans. He claimed that the invasion was a fight for Russia's sovereignty and said the West is trying to split Russia into parts. The authoritarian leader wanted to make sure he was clear, quote, we will never allow Ukraine to become a stronghold of aggressive actions against our country, end quote. But he also delivered the starkest threats to Russians who oppose him and his so-called special military operation. Putin said, quote, the Russian people will always be able to distinguish true patriots from scum and traitors and simply spit them out like a fly that accidentally flew into their mouths. I am convinced that such a natural and necessary self-purification of society will only strengthen our country. Those startling comments come after the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee held a hearing yesterday on combating authoritarianism. The committee called the Pulitzer Prize-winning historian Anne Applebaum, an expert on authoritarianism, to testify. She said the U.S. needs to do more to combat Russia's authoritarian leader.
Western sanctions alone have no impact on autocrats who know they can continue to trade with one another. Accusations from human rights organizations mean nothing to dictators. Russia invaded Ukraine in part because the Russian president believed he would pay no price. Instead of always reacting to the latest outrage, we need to change the rules of the game altogether.
Joining me now is Anne Applebaum. She's a Pulitzer Prize-winning historian, a staff writer at The Atlantic. Ms. Applebaum, thank you for being with us. I want to ask you, when you say we've got to change the rules of the game, that we have to stop being reactive, in this context of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, how would you have seen it going differently, and how in the middle of the game do you change?
So there's the famous Irish joke about, if you want to get to Dun Laoghaire, you don't start from here. And so, yes, I wouldn't have started from here, from where we are. I would have pushed back against not just Russian kleptocracy, but international kleptocracy many years ago. We could have changed our laws in order to make it impossible to buy and sell property anonymously in our country and in other countries. We could have thought differently about how we communicate to Russians and to others. In the middle of the war, it's a much more difficult prospect, although I do hope that this war is going to give us some ideas for how to proceed in future. In the middle of the war, what I think we need to do is change our thinking. I feel that's maybe beginning to happen in Washington. We need to begin to think not just about damage limitation or about how to grind down the Russians slowly, but about how we're going to help Ukraine win. And by winning, I mean expel the Russian troops from their country and create some kind of stable, long-lasting, permanent peace. And that is a very large ask from where we are now. But if we make that our goal and then we work backwards, which arms do we need to give the Ukrainians in order for them to push out the troops? What kind of final settlement will achieve what we want it to achieve? We're not looking for a second best outcome. We're looking for the best outcome. If we start to think like that, that will help guide us in our policy from now on.